Be sure to watch later on in the video our review of the boat repair manual. My dad, and he got us this book. This book is the boat repair manual. So this should be everything we need to know about fixing the boat that we don't know already. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Endeavour Sailboat. Apparently for some owners, size matters. Perfect. Truth is, it's the motion of the ocean and it's not the size of the vessel.
Oh, wow.
Can't believe it says that in here, but okay, whatever. Yeah, this seems like it's a pretty helpful book. Thanks a lot, Dad. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to watch it all the way through.
Yep.
Now you guys like to only watch part of it. You gotta watch the whole thing. Alright?
Just a thumbnail.
Thumbnail. Welcome back to another exciting and thrill-filled adventure with DIY Nautical Dream.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below.
In case you missed it in last week's video, our task last week, we wanted to remove that white, ugly, poor-fitting vinyl cover they had there, and all that was really doing was hiding the rotted plywood that was behind there and all that existing water damage from the leaks that were coming from up above. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and start taking the screw caps off and find out how this thing's fastened up above and get it out of there. We're also studying where we could possibly put some new light fixtures in the future. We've got to do something better than what they have in there currently. So we'll come up with some ideas there for that as well. So after we used the blue tape and we recorded all the gap measurements, we estimated what the gaps were and how much edge margin we need to add onto our new piece of teak plywood in order to close up those gaps, and we'll add a little bit extra just to be on the safe side. After that, it's time to start pulling the screws out and seeing what it looks like behind this thing. We'll have to drop this panel, cut a few wires, and it should be home free after that. So didn't really take much to get it out. The screws weren't really holding in very well, and after that we just drop it down, cut the power wire to the light, and we'll see what we have here. Cut the wires, and there you have it. So this is, wow, look at all the rotted wood. That's been getting wet under there for a long time. Well, there it is in all of its former glory. It's not so glorious now. We will take that panel home and we will use it as a template. We will overlay that on top of our new teak plywood, add our extra edge margin that we measured out with the blue tape, and we'll cut out a new one and we'll bring it back to the boat and begin the fitting process in this week's video. So that brings you up to speed to where we're at now currently. We hope you had a chance to see last week's video. If not, go back, check it out.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm Priscilla.
And I'm Rich.
Together
we make DIY Nautical Dream.
Alright, so let's go straight to our project this week. This week's task we're gonna do fitting the new Large Teak panels.
Oh yeah, that should be lots of fun.
And you're gonna be doing a lot of glorious sanding.
Oh yeah. Mads will be proud from Sail Life. Yep, he'd probably want to get in on some of that hand sanding.
Yep, and then we're doing fit tracks.
Oh yeah.
Cutting out the rotted plywood.
Oh man, you know that's gonna make a mess. That's gonna be lots of fun.
Stay tuned, guys, as we're gonna show you our update on this week's project.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sound pretty confident there. Yeah, so just stay tuned and we will get on this and show you all the fun we're gonna have today. All right? One of the nice things about today is we have lots of rain coming down right now, so the good thing is that we've had the chance to test a lot of our new exterior port light installations, hatches, and the large window lenses too. So everything's holding up. We don't have any leaks like we used to. So
not yet, anyways.
Yeah. So no, but that's a good sign. So
yeah,
it's been raining quite a bit. So that's a good thing. Hello and welcome back. We have a new sponsor on the channel, and the sponsor, his name is my dad, and he got us this book. This book is the Boat Repair Manual. So this should be everything we need to know about fixing the boat that we don't know already. So I thought we'd look through it real quick and see what we can find. And it's got tools and techniques, all that cool stuff. So that's really cool. So let's see if it has our boat listed in here. And it says, okay, first boat is listed as a Formosa 51 leaky tiki. Wow, that'd be cool. So this would have told us how to fix a leaky tiki. Oh, too bad we didn't get one of those. Man, bummer. Well, maybe next time. Alright, let's see what else is in here. Oh, okay, here we go. This is probably more like what we're looking for right here. Next page. Oh, Pearson 530. How to fix everything you need to know about the Pearson 530. Wow. If you have rigging problems, it's right here. If you have keel damage, it's right here. If you have water leaks, oh man, it tells you everything we need to know about fixing the Pearson 530. Oh, if we only would have had this book then. Dang. Okay, let's see what else. We're trying to find our boat here. I know our boat's listed in here somewhere. Oh, here we go. CT54 in Trinidad. Oh, man, no way. This tells everything we need to know. It even has pictures and everything on how to fix it. Rotted decks, leaking aft cabin, how to put a normal mattress in the back bedroom of a CT54. Oh man. How to replace the engine, put the head back on, rotted fuel tanks. Dang. Everything we would have known to how to fix the CT54 if we would have only had this book back then. Oh, that would have been great. Wow, Dad, timing is everything on this one, I guess. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Endeavour Sailboat. Right here. Endeavour. Let's see if they have the 52 in here. Okay, Endeavour 42 was stretched in 1990 to make it into an Endeavour 52. Apparently for some owners, size matters. And so that, no. And actually the Endeavour 52 is really just a glorified Endeavour 51. Stretched 12 inches for those that really think size matters. Well, truth is, it's the motion of the ocean and it's not the size of the vessel. I can't believe it says that in here, but okay, whatever. How do we fix the boat? Oh, so if you're working on rotted plywood on the starboard side of your boat where there's two large non-opening hatches, which that's this right here, it says you're going to have a lot of rotted plywood. Oh yeah, well, newsflash, we got that. So tell us something new here. Anyways, it says all kinds of crazy stuff on here about how to fix rotted plywood. Well, that works because that's where we're at right now. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to repair the rotted plywood here. It says basically cut everything out until you see daylight. Wow. I don't know if we want to follow those instructions or not, but yeah, this seems like it's a pretty helpful book. Thanks a lot, Dad. Really appreciate it. So yeah, the boat repair manual. Here you go. Everything we need to know. Well, that's cool. Glad to see that. Man, if we'd only had that when we were shopping for the boats, man, we could have bought one of those other boats. And then he gave us this other book here. The Little Blue Book of Sailing Secrets. Oh, this ought to be great. This is going to tell us everything we need to know when it comes time to sail. We'll put this away for right now. Thanks, Dad. Really appreciate it. All right. So this weekend's project is going to be, we're going to hand sand this to get it to fit up in here. It's going to go up in here. Basically, something like that. And we made it a little bit oversized so that we don't have any gaps or any bad trim edges or anything like that. So this is going to be a fun one to try and fit in there. I might have made it a little bit bigger than we needed. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to focus on getting this edge here and this edge here to be a good fit going inside of here. So I think the best thing to do right now to protect this, because this is just veneer on here on the plywood, I think to protect that we're going to put some, we'll put some tape. Stage fright. I get a little camera shy every now and then. So, but what we're going to do is we'll put a little tape on there to protect those surfaces, because we don't want them to get all scratched up. I don't know how thin that the veneer is on here, the teak, but we want to treat it. We want to treat it as nice as we can, because we're going to be putting this in and out a lot when we have to fit everything by hand. Same thing over here. All right, what do you think, baby? You think that's going to be a good plan?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's your thoughts on all this rotted plywood we're going to try and get out of here?
We'll just go for it.
So we're going to try and cut all this out here, all this rotted plywood, and it actually ends, the back edge of it's like right here, and it's not even, because then the back edge actually goes over the top of this back there. So what we want to do is we basically want to just get all that cut out all the way around nice and clean. So I'm going to use the multi-tool going up here along the edge. So I'll put tape all along here as well to protect it. And my thought is to get as even of a flush cut right here as we can. And then I'm going to try and dig a little bit of it out so that when we put our new plywood in, it actually transitions over the top of this just a little bit. And then we'll cut like a 1/2 inch tab left on here, and we'll try and get the remaining plywood that's in there out, and we'll slide a new piece in and epoxy it in place, and then they'll join everything together. And this is non-structural, but we still want to do a nice job as though it would be a structural installation. And really all this is for is basically, it's kind of like their layer of insulation from the top deck, and it's an attaching surface for this panel to attach to. It's totally non-structural. It's non-sexual also, but it's mostly non-structural, and it's just it's an attaching surface. But since we're going to be doing it, we're going to do a nice job, and we want to make it right anyways. So that's what we're up to. It's going to be a big mess, but you know, we're mostly about doing it and not talking about it, so that's where we're going to go right now. So we're going to get to work, and we'll get the camera back on a little bit later. All right, so we're having a little bit of problem getting this to fit in right here. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this little corner out. It'll give us a little bit of extra room for fitting it in and out, and hopefully it won't take too much off and we'll be okay. We're just being gentle because this is not very thick plywood. Okay. That's all we want to do is just take a little corner out of it. We can adjust as necessary, but we don't want to take too much out because we can't put it back. All right, and what we're trying for is trying to just provide a little bit of clearance so it will fit in there each time we try to set this in and out. And there we go. So that is plenty right there. We don't want to take any more out. So you see how we got it to fit in there? If we would have cut any deeper, any farther in, we would have been having a little gap there. But when we put our trim on the outside that goes along here, none of that's going to show. So, but this edge here, we still gotta work that. We still gotta work in here and in here right now. These are the areas where we're gotta get the fit first so that the piece will actually slide in there. So we're gonna work on that right now. That's what we're gonna set up for next, to start hand sanding and making that a good fit so it slides in and out. One of the things we're checking is making sure we have a good flush trim, no gaps. So we're we're doing a nice straight sand on there. Same thing right here. We don't want it to be all gapped, like if you had a gap like that, because then it's not going to sit nice. So we want to make sure we're sanding it nice and flat and flush. We are. So we'll just keep doing that until we can get a good fit to where it'll start to fit in there. So we sand on the edge for a little while, and then we pick it up, fit it into its nice little slot. So the problem we're having here is this edge right here. Trying to get that to where it's going to fit in nicely. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but we'll keep working on it. We'll get there. Okay, so what we're trying to do now is we're trying to get the whole piece of plywood to go that way. And because what we're fighting right now, well, we're not really fighting, but we're working with the gap right here. So we're trying to close this gap, and so that means there's obviously a high spot somewhere that's hitting. So we're suspecting right now that we're working on trimming this back edge here, right here. We have good side fit here, and we have a good side fit right here. So we're not messing with none of that. That's good. We don't want to mess with that any farther. We have it as good as it's going to get there. The only thing we're allowed to trim from here on is this half of the radius this direction to about here. And the reason I say that is because I have this is kind of like my feeler gauge right now. And so we're just going, you can see it won't go in from here, and then it starts going about here. So the more we drop it this way, the more we're going to need to trim out of there. And then this back edge here, it's not, you can see it's not going in back here. It doesn't really start going in until right about here. So what we're going to do is we'll mark our tape, and we'll say we need to trim from about there to about there. So everything in that way needs to be trimmed. And then we know from here to approximately here, we're going to be trimming. And when I mean trimming, I'm talking about block sanding by hand until we get those to keep continuing to close in that way. And then overall, we want to get this to continue to go in. And as we do that, then we're going to be slowly closing this gap right here and this gap right here, which they're pretty close to about the same amount. So we really want to just focus on dropping it evenly this way, meaning that we're going to have to take a little bit off of here, a little bit off of here, and continue to work on trimming on this edge here. So it's a long process, but if we want a quality fit, we got to go the extra distance for it. If we're happy with just a moderate, you know what, who cares, there's a few gaps kind of fit, we could stop right now. But we want it to be better than what we had in here before. And so we're going to keep working on it and keep getting it until we're as close as we think we can get without messing it up. Because there is a point of diminishing returns. If you just trim too much, then pretty soon you're going to be fighting gaps somewhere else and causing gaps that won't go away. That's why we're done trimming on the side gaps here and here, because if we trim any more on those, we're going to start losing that nice fit. So we don't want to mess with that anymore. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're just going to keep doing more hand sanding. Like I said, we got our marks here and our marks there where we want to sand. We'll keep working on those areas till we get good fit. So at last fit up, the corners here and here were a little bit touching more than anything else. And now we're pretty even all the way this time. So not perfect, but we are getting really close. So thing is we just got to keep working on it until we get the fit we're looking for. So all right, so after lots of hand sanding with this here block sander, we got a good fit going along here. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty nice. And all along the back here, we're going to work on getting this back edge fitting better now, because by dropping this back edge to where the plywood goes this way, it will help these edges come in along here, because we got a little bit of gap on these and down in there, but not a lot. I mean, this is already, if we left it the way it is right now, it's like 1,000 times better than that white plastic junk that was on here. So we're already ahead of the game on it. Now we're just looking for that really final, professional, nice tight fit. So,
oh, wow.
And we'll keep working on it. We're gonna have to do a lot of hand sanding still to get it back in even better than it is now. But yeah, we're looking pretty good. So yeah, we got a nice good fit going on here already. But there are definitely some areas where I can take down some high spots and get it to even drop in that direction farther, which is our goal right now, is to have this nice and flush. We're not looking for any, we don't want any big major gaps. We don't want anything that looks poor quality. And so that's what we're going for. We're going for that just really professional fit. And you can see I got a big gap right here. So we still got to work on that. And that gap there is being held up by the ability of this to go in farther. So once we continue to work on this back edge and get it to drop in, the more we do that, the more this gap will close up. And we knew that going into it, because the piece that came off was a real poor fit. So we knew that we were going to be doing a lot of hand sanding, and that's okay. We've done it before and we're up for it. So we're just going to keep doing that until we get this edge to come in that way. And we only have a little bit on this edge to do. Might not make, maybe I didn't explain it very well, but that's what we're trying to do right now. The goal is to drop this corner, which drops that. Once we get this fitting good, then we'll do a little bit of final trim over here, sanding, and we'll just kind of have to keep hitting both edges until we get everything the way we want it. But right now we got a big gap over here on this edge here, and we knew that already. So now we're just going to do the final trim just to keep going, getting this to go in here. Like I said, right now it already looks a lot better. So, man. Before we used to be able to get this in pretty good back here, and now it's pretty much universal tight all the way across, which is good. But this back edge is what's stopping us from getting this gap closed up. The little gap that's back here, that back edge, and this section right here to here. It was before we were right here riding, where we were touching right here, but then we sanded and worked this pretty good, and now it's moved from here to here is our next area we need to sand, because if I push on it like this, that's where it's actually going to make contact. This area here and this back edge here. So all we're trying to do is work it this direction to where this panel will start close. This gap is already closed up a lot since we started working this, but we want to close it all the way up to where this is a net gap, where it's touching nice and flush all the way. And then the same thing over here. We've been working it, and as everything comes in this way, this gap has been closing up also. But this is our last gap. We don't want to mess with this one until the very end, because by bringing that in right now, we'll kind of tweak all this and caulk this corner in, and this one would be out. So right now we're just trying to pull this back edge here and keep moving the whole panel that way. So it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of pulling this up and down, but we've got it to where it's getting to be a really good fit. So this is still a little tough to get out of here, but that's okay. We knew that was going to be a problem. And then let's get it out of here. All right, so there we go. We got that out. And what we'll do is I'm going to do more block sanding along this edge right here. so that's what we want to do. We want to do nice even strokes. We don't want to like stop and do right here, because then we're going to be uneven on the edge. So we got our marks on here, and we want to just kind of continue to nice even pressure, full length strokes with the sanding block. And then the same thing here. We're going to do the same thing right here in this area. We're going to work it until this high spot is gone. Once this high spot is gone, it should start moving from here to here to more like here to here. And we'll keep working it until we get that nice, good fit that we want. And it's very time consuming. This is not something that we can do fast. If we use power tools to do it, we run the risk, a high risk of taking too much off. And once it's off, then we can't put it back on. So that's what we're going to do. We just keep sanding on this edge. So we'll check back in a little bit when we do another fit up, and we'll see how far we've gotten with it and how much closer the gaps will be to closing up completely. It takes a long time, takes hours of sanding and putting it back up, taking it back down, put new tape on, make new marks, all that sort of thing. But we have got a really nice fit, and this is going to be even a better fit once we're done. So we're happy with how it's going so far, but it just takes a lot of time and a lot of changing out sandpaper. So next up is we're going to be cutting this rotted plywood out of here. So we don't want to fit the teak panel too perfectly, because something could change, not likely, but something could change to where the fit up might be affected. So we're almost at that point where we want to stop and start cutting this rotted wood out of here. And so it's only 1/2 inch thick. You can see right here, it's only 1/2 inch thick plywood with some areas of fiberglass tabbing on it, but not all areas. So, and not all of it's rotted, but if we take some out, we might as well take it all out and then just replace it. So we have a new piece cut, but it's not fitted yet, but we have a piece cut to put in here. So we're going to do a few more fit up checks with the teak plywood, and then we're going to call that good, and we'll focus on getting this cut out. So okay, so I think we have got a really good fit right now. This is probably as good as it's been so far. You can see right there we have a little bit of gap down towards the end, which we know we're not done fitting this yet. What we really need to do is we need to take about a 1/16 off all the way across here, and that'll drop everything that direction, and that'll close these gaps up to the point where they might be riding right here, and we have to do a little bit of final trimming. Same thing here, we're so close. Man, that gap, look at how well that's closed up. Man, that thing was huge when we started. So it works, the process works, we know that. We've also done this back in the day, fitting aircraft panels on, so we know how to do this. But I think we stop right here, because otherwise something may change when we cut out that rotted plywood that's up above, and man, then this panel might not be any good. So we don't want to take all of our fine tuning out of the equation just yet, and I think we'll cut that rotted plywood out and proceed to repair that area, and then we'll put this aside and hold on to this for a little bit later, and we'll come back to this and fit it later after we've got the rotted plywood replaced. So we're just going to err on the side of caution for right now, because a lot could change, not likely, but the potential is there. So it's come a long ways. It's really super nice looking, and throw a couple coats of varnish on there and it'll be even better looking. But all right, so we're going to start getting ready to cut that plywood out.
Okay, so currently we have this panel sanded to about as good a fit as we're going to be able to get at this time. We'll leave it for now and start cutting out that rotted plywood.
All right, so we're getting ready to start cutting this rotted plywood out, and we're going to go ahead and use the multi-tool with a cutting blade on it. And I got the blue tape on there, so that tells me I don't want to go any deeper than that. That's kind of my gauge on how deep to go. If I go any deeper than that, I'm going to end up going into the bottom side of the deck, and we don't want to do that. So
I put the tape on here, this line of tape around. That's thick duct tape on top of the blue tape. And I put that all the way around. And I'm hoping that that's going to be a nice little protective barrier between the blade and the wood. I don't want to rub on the wood. So that's my thought behind that. Okay, so that's going pretty well. So I'm either cutting through the bottom of the deck, or there's a small gap between the plywood and the bottom of the deck, because it's going, I can feel the resistance, and then all of a sudden it pops through. So, but it pops through right about the right depth of the plywood thickness, so I'm thinking that we're okay. And if I hit anything that I encounter a lot of resistance on, I'll back off, because that's probably me cutting through fiberglass, and we don't want to do that. Seems like it's going all right. I'll have to decide where I want to stop cutting and where we're going to tab in the new plywood, so we're thinking about that. Well, we'll think about this for a few minutes. Alright, so there we go, we got that. That's where we want that. The line here. Let's see how that goes. We can adjust. We can adjust as necessary. We'll see here. Oh yeah, that's very rotted here. Yeah, see, there's nothing left of that. Just all rotted. Okay, well that's why we're replacing it. Yeah, we didn't, so we never went through the deck, which is a good thing. So anyways, it appears right here was epoxy saturated wood or something. That's why maybe it was harder to cut, causing all the smoke. Yeah, that's where I used penetrating epoxy, and it saturated into the wood, the rotted wood. That's why this was smoking so bad, trying to cut through that epoxy, the penetrating epoxy. So that stuff works pretty good, because this is all rotted, but it's still really strong because the epoxy saturated it. So that's a good thing. So let's see if we can go ahead and cut this, get that out of there. I bet it's not coming out, because I bet it's fiberglass tabbed in on the backside or something, so we're not going to be able to get it all the way out. Okay, well, we'll cut it around here and we'll clean it up as best we can, and we'll probably just have to tab into it with some epoxy. Yeah, see, that's all epoxy. Penetrating epoxy got into that. for now, at least we got it cut out like we wanted to. I would like to just rip that whole section out and slide new wood in there, but it's not worth it because we're not gaining anything by it. We're gonna go charge the battery up and we'll take a shot at this a little bit later.
So here you can see what was causing all that smoke while we're trying to cut out that rotted wood. The penetrating epoxy we applied before actually did penetrate the rotted plywood and gave it some strength. So yeah, stuff actually works really good, but we didn't need it there. So. One thing's for sure, we definitely are making a mess now. All this plywood that we're pulling out of here is just so rotted, totally lost all of its integrity. And so we're doing the right thing by cutting it out. We want to make sure we get all of it out as best as we can. So taking our time, making sure we're getting as much of it out as we can without damaging any of the structure around it. So this is what's left of all that rotted wood we cut out of there. It's crazy. That's a lot of rotted wood. This stuff smells nasty too. And then you can see some of the thickened epoxy where I poured that in there when I was doing those repairs, filling it in. I just wanted to make sure we got good coverage on the back side there, and it penetrated good, so that was good. Man, what a mess. So that's okay, we got it out. Now we have a surface to attach the new plywood to. We'll cut out some pieces. I decided not to cut the fiberglass here, and I'm not going to remove that. And I was going to cut it out and then insert new plywood in there, but we're dealing with such a small area. It's going to be really tricky to get it in there and get a good bond and all that stuff, and we're not gaining anything by doing that. This is like secondary structure, so it's a lot of work for minimal gains. Basically, as long as this teak plywood has something to attach to, and the trim and all that stuff, which it does, it'll be fine. So, more concerned about just replacing what we cut away out of here and making this back to good. And we'll tab it in there and epoxy it into place and all that stuff, and it'll be fine. Nobody's ever going to see it. We'll do a nice job. And like I said, nobody will ever see it. And then we'll put the new teak plywood panel that we cut out, and we'll put that over the top of this, and it'll be all good. We'll run our wires. We got some wires that are back there that I got to fish back out. We'll run our wires for our new lighting and stuff that we're going to put in here, and then we'll close this area up. But it's going to take a long time. I mean, it's easy to say it, but we're looking at several weeks worth of work here. All right, so we'll get to work cleaning up our mess. Yep, we made a mess.
All right, so Hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was a little bit fun, huh?
Yeah,
Lots of mess. Hopefully you enjoy watching it as much as we're enjoying doing it.
Oh yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching it more than we actually enjoy doing it. But, you know, it's all fun. You going? All right. Yeah, so this week we got this teak panel fitted. Did a lot of hand sanding around here and here to get it all fitted. We have it about 90%, 95% fitted. And then we stopped because we cut out all that rotted plywood on that little overhead section there. And we didn't want to continue fitting this all the way because when we put the new plywood in here, this is the new piece that's going to replace it. We're going to have to cut this up into sections to get it up in there. And then we'll fiberglass it and epoxy and screw it into place. Same as the other piece of plywood was, but we're going to protect this with penetrating epoxy on all sides, corners, and edges. And we're going to do basically a waterproof install that if any water ever gets on it again, it's not going to rot. And the same thing on this. On the back side, which is back here, is just regular plywood. And we're going to seal this with penetrating epoxy. And then on the front side, we'll varnish this up really nice. And this is going to be really beautiful. And then we'll eventually locate new lighting fixtures in here and make it look really good. But yeah, we just wanted to show you the progress we're making on this little project here. It's going to take us a long time to get it completed, but each one of these steps takes a long time. Getting all this radius to fit here with no gaps, getting this to come in as good as it did, it looks so much better than that white plastic that was up there hanging down and sagging, all wavy and everything. So yeah, we're gonna next week we'll get started on this. And we'll have to cut this up into sections, and each section will have to be hand fitted into place. But once it's all in there, we'll make it look really nice. Then this will be finished fitted, and it'll be eventually attached up to there, and it's going to look really sharp. It's going to be a totally professional looking install. It's going to look a lot better than what was in there before. So we appreciate you sticking with us and having the patience to see us through this project, and we're making good progress on it. So it's looking really good. So yeah, I just want to say a big thanks to Dad for the book, the helpful book on how to repair our boat and all that stuff. Man, that would have been really helpful back when we were boat shopping. Could have made some of those decisions a lot easier for us.
Yeah.
Who knows, we probably would have ended up with that boat from Trinidad.
Oh,
man.
No.
Just what if, huh? That would have been cool.
Yeah, well, everything's happened for a reason.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. We're good with what we have. So we'll get that one next time.
So focus on our project. Huh?
All right. So yeah, on this week's episode, we had quite a bit of fun. We got that new panel cut out. We were able to get some little rough fitting on it. And oh my gosh, cutting out all that rotted plywood, that really made quite a mess. Some of it was rotted pretty bad, and some of it wasn't rotted hardly much at all. So it's just kind of hit and miss on that one, but we have it out, which is a good thing. We didn't cut through the deck. Well, I didn't cut through the bottom of the deck with the multi-tool. That's something we're always worrying about.
Yep.
We didn't want to cut, like the book said, we didn't want to cut until we saw daylight. We figured we'd hold off on that for maybe another project. But anyway, so we got a good fit on that panel, a good preliminary fit, and the teak panel is looking good. So I think we're on the right path.
get some varnish on that, and then maybe it's going to be even more beautiful. So wrap it up, baby.
All right, so guys, please watch it.
Oh yeah.
From the very beginning up until the end. Stay tuned, guys. If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below.
Ding, 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 ding. Somewhere around in that area, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Where?
I don't know, somewhere.
All right, so see you next video.
See ya.
Bye.
Dang, if I only hit record, man.
I think you did.
Okay.
Did you?
Oh man, is it on?
No.
Man, these GoPros.
Yep. You GoPro.
So it's not working then, huh?
Mm-mm.
Dang it. Well, all right. Maybe you can help me.
I did last night.
All right. Hey, you gonna help me or what?
I did last night.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah. All right.
Check. All right. See, so
Uh-huh. Okay.
Oh, hang on a second.
Dang it.
You did not record it?
I thought you were gonna push the button. Is it working?
No. We have to redo it again. We have to redo it again.
All right.
Just like we are, just oh.
All right. Straighten her out here.
Dang, I don't have my microphone.
Oh man. You almost had me on that one. Dang, that would have been bad.
Welcome back. Oops. JK. Okay, that's it.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Dang, it's not recording again.
Always.
Man, is it?
No.
Is on the light on?
I'm gonna redo it.
Man, these GoPros. This thing
Blame
is
it on
so.
your GoPro, huh?
Well, I pushed the button, the light was working, and now it's stopped.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm so frustrated.
Just that's what you make it.
Yep. We'll start over. We'll start over. Oh, dang. I think I forgot to hit record.
Like always.
Oh, man. Is it recording?
No. I think you did. Or maybe not.
Yeah, so if you haven't subscribed yet, oh man, dang it. I don't think did I hit it? Can you see the?
No, you didn't.
Man.
Oh, you did.
Is it?
No, we have to redo it.
Oh man.
Yep.
These GoPros, man.
Yep.
All right.
Time for a new one. Did we record it?
Hang on, not yet. No, not yet.
Perfect!